But yeah, this is exactly why, like, yesterday was another example of like, oh, okay. Well, you have a good time, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with going on solo dates and going out with your friends and spending money on yourself and doing nice things for yourself. Nothing wrong with doing that. That's why I'm making these videos, because a lot of us that were socialized as girls were taught that that is wrong to do, because a lot of times under toxic masculinity, patriarchy, misogyny, we're telling girls or people assigned female at birth or anyone that is feminine that you need to be a caregiver, that you need to constantly be self-sacrificing for the people in your life, especially for the cisgender males in your life. Yet cis men are not self-sacrificing shit. Okay? If they're not happy, no one's happy. If they're not having a good time, no one's having a good time. So we see this all the time. This is why we have to stop putting them on a pedestal, stop centering them in their needs, because they're not going to center you in your needs. They're not. They're not doing it for their own fucking kids. Okay? So you really just have to start looking at things for what it is. Go on more solo dates. And when you're in a relationship or engaging with somebody romantically, regardless of gender, regardless of sexuality, you should still be an individual in the romantic situation. And what I mean by that is, you should still be doing stuff that is completely separate from the person you're talking to. I know that's also a weird situation for a lot of us that were socialized as girls. But no, you should be doing things with your friends that are separate from them. And in fact, you should have your own friends. Y'all don't really need to be sharing friend groups. Because again, men are not doing this. They're not going to be sitting up, bringing their closest friends, and then all of a sudden, their closest friend is your friend. That's not typically how it goes. You should have your own friends. They should have their own friends. You should be able to hang out by yourself. He should be able to hang out by himself. I'm just being real. Not to mention, when you are able to do that, it tends to be healthier because you're no longer attached at the hip and codependent. That's another reason why I like non-monogamy, because it really breaks that codependency bullshit down, because you're not attached at the hip to that other person and they're not attached at the hip to you. And it just makes things healthier, because you shouldn't be codependent. You shouldn't. It's not a healthy setup. This is why a lot of folks are in these one-sided, dysfunctional, unhappy relationships for years, for decades, until they die type shit. Whole time miserable as hell. It's not worth it, y'all. It's not. And again, go blue. You already knew. You already knew. But I'll say that because it's just not. So, if you were going to the gym prior to meeting this person, continue to go to the gym when you're with them. If you were going out to eat by yourself or hanging out with friends, continue to do the same thing. Because when I tell you it is a healthier setup, it is a healthier setup. A lot of times we're getting upset, and I'm guilty of this, right? I am guilty of this. I'm not being a hypocrite or contradicting myself, because I get it. I've been upset. I've been angry. I've been jealous at the person I'm dealing with go and do things by himself. Never include me. But then I also started realizing, why do I always feel the need to include him in the first place? Oh, that's right, because I was socialized as a girl. This is why I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not saying that empathy is bad. I'm not saying that loving and caring and wanting to do things for others is bad, because it's not. It's a good thing. But when you're doing it all the time and it's never being reciprocated, that's where the problem lies. Like, at some point, you just have to stop doing shit that doesn't benefit you. I'm just gonna be real. Like, at some point, you're putting yourself in harm's way. And a lot of things, it's just like, Doing the things that you would do for someone else, but for yourself, is where it starts. That's what we need to start doing. Like, therapy has made me realize, like, look, like today is game day, game night. I'm going to be having a good time, and I'm not going to be concerned about this, about him. I'm just not. And a lot of times, and I hate to say this, but a lot of times I'm also starting to realize it's a lot more fun in some situations when he's not around, because then I can just be with my friends laughing, cracking up, playing games, and not really be worrying about him and his needs. And that is such a beautiful moment. And also, like, just speaking, regardless of gender, it's cheaper when you go and do things by yourself or with your friends than it is when you are making it into a romantic date. Because somewhere down the line, especially those of us that are more provider types, we're the ones always paying for everything, and we're the ones always planning everything. And I'm just going to be honest, that can get annoying after a while. Because sometimes even us providers want to be provided for. I'm not saying you got to do it all the time, but damn. So this is another reason why those solo hangouts are so important.